What's going on, everyone? So we are inching closer to From Season 3, and this upcoming season seems to be very Victor trying to remember the past. And I think that that's going to play a big role. There's even some kind of Easter eggs or potential Easter eggs in the trailer for Season 3 that kind of lead you to believe that we might find more of Victor's family out, which I'm going to dive into in this video. But specifically, I want to talk about Victor's mother, because she clearly knew a lot about Fromville. She clearly had an idea of quite a bit, and Victor constantly references his mother and talks about how, she used to always say, or she would say this, and it's just like, where and how did she gain this knowledge for the Fromville, right? Like, how does she know, how did she know about the bottle tree? How did she know about the tower, right? There's as much mystery about the mother as there is arguably anything else, right? Because she had a lot of the answers, and she was expected to escape. And it begs the question of, like, does she know how to get in and out? Right? Now, you might think, well, okay, if she could get in and out, why would she even be there? Well, there may even be some clues in this Season 3 trailer that kind of has this jumping of back and forth, right? One, I mean, look, Tabitha followed the mother's path, only the mother ended up dying before she was able to reach the tree and get to the tower, the lighthouse, and get out. But Tabitha, assuming she's in the real world, which I do think that there's arguments that she's not, but assuming that she is, because that's what they're trying to make us believe, clearly the mother was right. And clearly the mother knew some way, somehow, how to get out. And Tabitha was able to find her way out, which also Tabitha appears to be trying to kind of follow these tracks in order to get back in. And it's very possible that the mother could go back and forth. What if the children, what if Luis and Victor were able to get back, or ended up just kind of finding the bottle tree and ended up getting into Fromville, and the mother went back to go track her, right? Maybe the mother's been there before. Maybe she was there prior, was able to get out. Kids go in, right? Because you don't hear anything about the father. Like, where was the father? Why wasn't the father in there, right? It was just the mother and then the siblings, right? So what if the kids ended up stumbling into, the Fromville, and the mom ended up getting there? Maybe she got stuck for a little bit and had to track the way to get back. Because even Victor, here's the thing, Victor, is mapping out and seeing, how far the trees have moved and stuff, right? Which kind of indicates that maybe things are changing. Maybe things move around. Maybe things kind of expand out. So maybe the mother, she had to find the tree again, and now she stumbled across it, was able to get it, and she's just going to try to find her way out again, right? And then come back. Also, another kind of indicator is the children. Why, if you're going to go and escape, and again, we know nothing about the dad. We don't know if the dad was there or not, right? Going under the assumption that the dad wasn't, right? Unless that preacher guy turns out to be the dad, which could be, right? Like, why as a mother would you go to leave and leave your children, right? If the lighthouse is supposed to be your way out and you save the children and that's how you get to go home, why would you leave your children and not try to take them with you? She left her children to hide so she could go escape, which would lead you to believe that she would know how to get back, right? Like, also, since we're sticking to the father, right? A lot of thoughts, I've made videos exploring it as well, that the old man that you see in Season 3 is Victor's dad, right? You see a picture in which it looks like you see, like, the bottom picture with the boys, like, one of them kind of, you could look like a young Victor. And then you have the picture that looks like his sister, right? And then you have the paintings that are in the basement, I presume, right? And what if the father has some insight, right? Clearly, Tabitha goes to this old man to try to gain some type of answers, right? Try to get something. And what if he was married to Victor's mother and he had some insight? What if he was waiting for them to come back, right? What if, what if he knew how to get in and out also, but he wasn't able to get back in, or he thought, everyone was dead, right? Also, Victor took off. Victor was hiding. And then when he came out, right, he even said, like, he started moving the cars, he started doing all this stuff. Like, what if the dad went in there and he wasn't able to find Victor, right, and was able to get back out, right? And if Tabitha's going to get back into the Fromville, it's probably through this guy, or it appears that in the trailer. So, once again, it's just like, the mother clearly knew a lot, some way, somehow. Right? And I hope it's something that we unpack here. I hope it's not something that's kind of just brushed under, because it's just like, how did she get all this information? How did she know? How did she know about the bottle tree? How did she know about, the lighthouse and stuff? Were they just visions that she had and she just trusted? Like, Tabitha kept seeing the children and stuff. Is that something that, maybe the mother had the same type of, course? Like, that's always a possibility, right? Like, maybe the children only reach out to mothers, right? Like, that, again, there's a lot of ways that this could kind of go and be unplugged. It's why it's so fun to kind of explore these theories and thought processes. But even the paintings, right? There's a thought process, theories, that this is Victor's sister's paintings, right? Because the painting style is very similar. What if it's the mother, right? Like, it could very well be the mother's paintings. And it would also make sense that the sister would have a similar painting style if she learned how to do so from the mother, right? So these could be the mother's paintings, and they're in this place. They're in this far away. Also, if Tabitha isn't out and isn't escaped, and she is in another layer, like a level 2 type thing of this Fromville, right? Maybe Victor's dad is stuck there, right? What if she tried to get out in order to go get Victor's dad and bring him back, so at least, the family could be together? A lot of ways that you could explore this. A lot of ways that you can kind of dive down this rabbit hole with Victor's mom. And I hope it's not something, I hope it's something that we slowly start to unpack, right? I hope it's something that, because the mom was so sure. Like, the mom knew not just about, like, again, the bottle tree and the lighthouse stuff, but, Victor's constantly referring to his mother. My mother used to always say, or my mother would say, like, or, I know where it is because of my mother, like, those kind of things. Like, so clearly she had an understanding. She had a grasp of this place. And it begs the question of, was she able to kind of jump in and out? Was she able to go back and forth? Right? Like, did she know how to navigate this? Also, how much has changed since then, right? Because you got to think, Victor was a little boy, right? Like, so just because the mother kind of knew everything then doesn't mean that she knows now, right? Like, but I would imagine, though, if that old man does turn out to be Victor's father, right? Like, that he would have some information from the mother. Right? Like, that whether he believed that they were, maybe I always thought they were hallucinations, or I always thought, my wife was going crazy or whatever. And, typical, like, horror trope, like, and then the mother was right. Like, I could see something like that, but he would have, you got to imagine, he'd have some type of information, he'd have some type of knowledge just relayed by the mother. Also, just kind of a quick little note, because I've seen comments, in other From videos that I've made, and people have asked, like, well, how do we know that he's, like, the father? I mean, well, one, we don't know that he's the father. And a lot of people talk about how Victor kind of looks not that far off in age from that guy. But you got to think, Victor's been in this hell for, like, 30, 40 years. Like, maybe longer, right? Like, how old was he as a little boy? Say he was like, 10, 11, right? And, let's say he's in his 40s now. He's probably been there 40 plus years, right? Like, how do you think you would age, right? Like, just a point of thought. But it's going to be interesting to see how the mother unpacks. And again, clearly she had a lot of knowledge. Clearly she had a lot of understanding of this place. And I really hope that continues to be explored. I really hope that we kind of get another layer peeled on Victor's mom. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, like the mother clearly had some insight, clearly had an understanding and knowledge of this place one way or another? Do you think that it was possible that the mother was able to go back and forth? I think the biggest kind of indicator for that is she's leaving her children behind. Would you really leave your children behind if you didn't know how to get back? Right? But if you did know how to get back, then, you keep your children safe. You have your children and hide. Don't leave. Don't get out until mommy comes back. And then you go do what you got to do. You get out. You come back. Get your children. Now you can take your children out. Right? Like if she really believed that the only way for them to escape was to complete this mission, complete this task, she would go complete the mission. She'd go complete the task. She would then get out, come back, grab her children, and now her and her children can leave and she'd get her children safe. Just thought. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.